Welcome to The Soft Life with me, Candy Washington, where we explore all things self-love, manifestations, and relationships with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. So be sure to subscribe, share, and join us on Patreon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and like our little promo said, go ahead and subscribe, like, and share. So with that, let's dive right into the mess. So this is Giselle Neck once again wreaking havoc on her reasonably shady, perfectly boring, practically non-existent podcast with Robin lying, stale, funky, boring Dixon. We're going to get into it. So not Robin and Gizelle for this one, just Gizelle. She's catching a lot of backlash because she said a gay slur on her podcast, talking about the Jussie Smollett situation. I have the article from page 6. We're going to go through it. I'm going to tell you, what she said and the context of what she said and also the backlash for it. Oh, but before I dive in, Tasha, sweetheart. Okay, so hold on, you guys. I'm going to get into it because I want to talk about what Gizelle said, and then I also want to talk about, in my opinion, and on Reddit, the backlash that Gizelle is getting on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and my theories about what I think is going on. Thank you, Tasha. But before I dive in, I wanted to shout out Candy Cane Tasha. So you had sent me super chats from our last live that we did. And the last live we did, we were talking about Vanderpump Rules, and we were talking about the reunion looks, and then we got into like all the drama and the stuff. And I didn't get your super chats until after I ended the show, but I wanted to make sure that I called it out. So Tasha said, yikes, I sent before finished. Anyway, I think that's why Rachel broke things off with James, because Tom was working on her. Then she said in her confessional, she said, Tom said, I need to set boundaries. And I was like, what's a boundary? He was planting the seeds then. So that was Tasha's insights and opinion on what happened with Rachel, Raquel, Rachel, James breaking off the engagement, and then also Tom Sandoval. I agree. I do think that Tom was working on Raquel, Rachel, but I think she's playing the victim a little bit too much and not taking accountability for what happened in it. So I agree, Tasha. Thank you so much for the super chat and the super sticker. I wanted to make sure that I gave you a nice shout out because I appreciate your support of me and I appreciate your support of the channel. Okay. So with that, let's get back to the hot mess. Okay. Let's get back to the hot mess of it all. All right. Now, kicking off, let's first talk about Gizelle and what she said on Reasonably Shady. So this is according to page 6, and everything I'm going through is also on the screen. So if you can't read it, don't worry. I'm going to have you covered. I'm going to read everything through. So it says, disgusting Gizelle Bryant slammed for using gay slur on her podcast. Gizelle Bryant is facing backlash for using a gay slur. During Monday's episode of their Reasonably Shady podcast, Bryant was talking to co-host Robin Dixon about a Fox Nation documentary she had just seen that discussed the Jussie Smollett hate crime hoax. Okay. Quote, this is what Gizelle is saying. What he did was, in case you guys don't remember, was he staged a hate crime. That's my best Gizelle Bryant impression because she talks like this all the time. She's like, oh, well, T is what Kira said was, Robin, this, and that. Sorry. That's my Gizelle impersonation. Anyway, let's get back to it. What he did was, in case you guys don't remember, was he staged a hate crime, Brian explained. So they were supposed to put a noose around his neck. They were supposed to call him the F word or something, gay empire boy or something. She actually said the F word. She actually said it. Her word choice seemed to catch Dixon, who is also her Real Housewives of Potomac co-star and best friend, by surprise, as she could be heard letting out a long sigh. They were supposed to scream that, Bryant 52 tried to rectify after noticing Dixon's reaction. These were the words that Jussie gave the trainers to do. The 5-episode documentary, which was released on March 13th, 2023, discussed the 2019 alleged attack on the Empire actor, who claimed he was physically assaulted by two people who called him racial and gay slurs. A month later, a police investigation found that Smollett, 40, had paid the two brothers to stage the assault. After a lengthy legal process, the actor was found guilty of 5 counts of felony disorderly conduct for making 4 false police reports. Side note, did you hear that, Ratchet Rachel? People are getting felony accounts for making false police reports. Stop it. You made a false police report against Sheena. Sorry, all roads lead to Vanderpump. All right, let's get back. Dun, 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 dun. While some fans argued the slur was, quote, pertain to the story, others was outraged that Bryant would say it so casually. What a disgusting woman, one user responded to a clip posted on Twitter, while another one added, whoa, WTF. Not her pretending to hesitate saying that word when you know she probably says it on a regular basis, someone else replied, a true actress. Bryant has yet to address the backlash on social media, and her reps did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. Last month, the housewife found herself in hot water once again after asking her Spanish-speaking co-stars to stick to English. Bryant was dubbed a, quote, Karen by fans online for telling Alexia and Marisol that she has a no Spanish rule during an episode of The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Although Bryant defended herself by saying she just doesn't want to feel left out, social media users slammed her as, quote, a bigot. All right, this is what they said. Please think about your narrow-minded, silly words before you have an entire culture against you. Hashtag Latinx, hashtag triggered at Andy, where's the cancel button, hashtag watch what happens live, one critic tweeted. It's a bit disturbing that at Gizelle Bryant would try to hush Marisol and Alexia for speaking their native tongue, Spanish. Does she not know her own history of bigotry? For shame. Hashtag Real Housewives of Girls Trip Ultimate 3. Hashtag rhop added another upset viewer. Now, this is the thing. Gizelle, you're dead wrong for this. And we're also going to get into more of the backlash she has on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, because to me, it's garbage. It's falling flat. I'm watching it, but honestly, I'm not into it. It's too scripted. It's too contrived. It's the work is showing. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not. I'm going to get into it, though. Let's first talk about her using the gay slur, the F word. I think it's disgusting. I do. It's disgusting and it's wrong. This echoes back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Because again, all roads always lead back to Beverly Hills, right? Let's not forget at the reunion, and this is where it's going to get sticky, guys. This is where it's going to get sticky, and I want you to help me unpack it and figure out the right course, right? Because this is where it's going to get sticky. Remember at the reunion when Erica Jane was allegedly, and I think lying, allegedly was retelling the story of what happened between her and Kathy Hilton at the club in Aspen, where she said that Kathy said, oh, the old effing F word, gay slur, insert here, wouldn't let me, blah, 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 or whatever she said. It was something around that context. And she said the actual word. It flowed out of her mouth. In some countries, they don't even bleep it out. They bleeped it out here, but she clearly said the full word and they kept the clip on the show. And Andy Cohen said nothing and did nothing. It was just like, he didn't investigate. Like he said nothing, like literally did nothing, right? We were enraged when that happened. So why should we not be enraged when this happens with Gizelle? You know, even though she's not saying like, I'm saying this, same exact situation. Erica Jane is like, oh, Kathy Hilton said this, right? Giselle's like, oh, Jussie Smollett told his fake assailants to say this. But yet both of them, without hesitation, without even a thought, let it roll off of their tongue. Right? Just let it roll off of the tongue. Okay. Now, I think it's problematic. I personally do not say that word. I think it's disgusting. I think it's derogatory. I think if somebody is part of the LGBTQTIA community and however they want to own or redefine or use that word, that is fine. That is up to them. I'm also not of the camp that they're like, oh, well, people can't say the N word and you can't say the F word. I do not equate racism with um, homophobia. I think that they both are types of hate and discrimination, but I don't equate the two. But I agree. I don't think that we should use the F word. I don't think that um, people who are not Black should use the N word. I agree with all of that, but I don't equate homophobia with racism. The same way I don't equate sexism with homophobia. I think they're all horrible and disgusting, but I'm not a person that equates them because they're separate, they're different, they're rooted in different things. At the end of the day, they're all rooted in hate, but they're born out of different things, if that makes sense. I don't think it's acceptable, though, on any type of level, no matter what. Now, this is the thing. When Erica said it, she had zero consequence. What happened to Erica Jane when she said it? Nothing. Andy Cohen didn't say anything. There was no statement from Bravo. NBC didn't have a problem with it. Nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing at all, right? This is, to me, where it gets sticky. Yes, what both Erica and Gizelle said was, in my opinion, distasteful and disgusting and not okay. But it gets sticky because neither one of them said it to someone, with basically saying, I am, out of the hatred in my heart, saying this to you or to someone. I think it's still very inappropriate and it's very uncomfortable and it's still not okay that they said it at all. Either of them, Erica or Gizelle. And I think it does show, just like the person said, you said it too comfortably, you said it too easily. So clearly, this is how you speak when you don't think you're mic'd. When you don't think anybody's watching, this is truly who you are. I don't know what the consequence should be. I don't know. I don't know what it should be. I don't know. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Put it down. That's where it's sticky. That's where it's because I do think if they said it to someone, that should be some type of consequence offense. But again, in the context that they're saying it, it's disgusting. It doesn't land well. It makes a pit in my stomach. I don't like it. But I do think intent and context matters. So who knows? Ingrid said these are non-issues reparations now. So that's what they're putting out there. That's what they're saying. Ugh, I think it's disgusting. I think it's gross. And this is also another big thing that I want to flag. Both when it comes to Erica Jane saying it at the reunion and also with Robin saying it on her podcast. How does this not get edited out before it actually comes into the world? Like, is there no one? Was there no one at Bravo? Was there no one at NBC? Was there no one around when Erica said this and said, hey, maybe we need to have her retell the story and not actually say the full word? Or maybe we need to edit it out, not bleep it out, actually edit it out. How do these things actually hit the air? Is there nobody on staff who has the wherewithal and or the authority to say, listen, this isn't a good look? Also, with Gizelle, who edits your podcast? We all know Robin has no backbone and no voice, so she could sit there and squirm all she wants, but she's never in her life ever stood up to Gizelle in a meaningful way. How did it actually hit the air? Now, I don't listen to their podcast. I don't I definitely don't give money to their freaking Patreon. Absolutely not. But how did it not get edited out? Like, I can tell you, if I'm sitting here live on my channel, whether it's my podcast, whether it's here, wherever it is, and God forbid, I am that, whatever these people are, and I say the F word, or I say the N word, or something else that is horrible and derogatory, I'm stopping and I'm editing it out and I'm scrubbing it, not just because I want to protect my reputation, but more so because I'm understanding that what I said, even though where my intent may or may not be, potentially could be extremely triggering and harmful to somebody else in like an actual real way, not just, oh, this is my opinion and you don't like it. That's fine. But actually saying something that is that offensive and derogatory towards an entire group of people. How does it actually make it to the air? That is where I'm so confused. Like, who on your team, Gizelle and Robin, was like, yeah, we're not going to edit that out? What network, what podcast network are you on where whoever the powers that be, unless you self-publish your podcast, I don't know how you guys do it, was like, yeah, let's keep that in there. There is an editing button for a reason. That's why I'm so confused. Bravo didn't edit it. Bravo likes to edit out certain scenes that actually need to stay in. And then all of a sudden we get leaked scenes, deleted scenes that actually give meaning and context. And then they keep in stuff like this. And then Gizelle, I don't know how you kept that in there and thought it was okay. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, let's talk about the whole Gizelle saying for Marisol and Alexia not to speak Spanish. I thought it was very disrespectful and extremely inappropriate and not her place. Not her place. I don't think it's as deep as saying the N word or saying the F word, but I think it's within that camp of you need to assimilate to whatever we say is normal or whatever we say is right or whatever it is. And you're not allowed to express yourself authentically. Like, who the heck did Gizelle think she was to tell anybody they could not speak in any type of way? Whether it's the language they use, how they use it, who they are, that blew my mind. How dare you tell someone not to speak Spanish? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then let's talk about more backlash they're getting, okay? For Gizelle. First, I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on Gizelle and what I think is going on and why I think, in my opinion, for me, and I want to know what you guys think, it's ruining Ultimate Girls Trip. Like, Gizelle, this is why we cannot have nice things. This season 3 for me isn't it. Leah is a mess. She's annoying. The work is showing. You can see that that she doesn't want to be there. She's irritated. She's playing a part, right? She's playing a part. Ridiculous. Where I think it really went wrong for me this season is I think that behind the scenes, Gizelle and Portia had a conversation that they were going to go on the trip. They were going to be buddy-buddy, and that they were going to be the producers on the trip. That they were the ones who were going to stir the pot, bring up the stuff, bring up the mess. They were going to be the HBICs. They were going to be the producers on the trip. And that is so clear and that is so evident. Anytime they sit down to have a conversation, Gizelle's like, well, let's talk about this. And you said that. And Portia's like, yeah, let's talk about this, talk about that. And there's no authenticity. They're not having any authentic conversations. They're not having fun. It's just Gizelle setting up fake argument storylines. And it's boring and it's not fun to watch. Like, I want Ultimate Girls Trip to be fun, not let's sit around and pick fights with people. The work is showing. And did you guys notice, even when Candace was like, yeah, everybody says, Gizelle, that you like to talk about everybody else's business because you don't want to talk about yours. And like this person said, she couldn't even give an open, honest answer when Candace called her out about being in Miami with the man. These are from Reddit. Did you notice that she got up and started to like fan herself in order to distract and not have to actually answer the question about her being seen in Miami with some mystery man? That would have been a great opportunity, Gizelle, for you to talk about your life and yourself, but you didn't do it. And then this other person says Jizzy has nothing without starting drama. She barely shares anything personal about herself, so her only contribution on RHUGT is her talking mad and hilariously hypocritical crap about the drama she is stirring. I don't think she deserves more than a friend of anymore, if I'm being honest. Drop in, say some stuff, get the ladies fighting, and dip, in my opinion, of course. She might touch on subject, but she never goes deep before anyone reminds me about the few things she shared. Exactly. It's very surface, it's very light. Even at the reunion, she was like, we'll talk about it later. I forgot what it was. I think about like her fibroids and her daughters and stuff. And Andy was like, no, we'll talk about it now. Gizelle thinks she's really good at being like a producer on the show, but you're not actually a producer on the show, you're a cast member. And to me, the way you're moving, it's ruining the flow of the show. Like, I think Alexia and Marisol could have been hilarious. I think Candace and Portia together actually would have been a really funny, fun duo. That's actually the duo. I think they would have been laughing. They would have had the tea in the shade. I think that Portia and Candace would have been a fun, fun duo if they could have just been friends in a real way. Leah, we can just leave Leah. We don't need Leah. Bye-bye, Leah. Heather and Whitney, I think that I agree with Heather. I think Whitney is playing it up for the cameras. I think Whitney is playing it up for Lisa Barlow. I think Whitney is playing it up for the other girls. I never really liked Heather Gay, but if I'm being honest, I like Heather Gay more than I like Whitney. And I'm more on Heather Gay's side with Ultimate Girls Trip because I think what Whitney is doing, like she always does, is she comes in with these half-truths and then she calls everybody a liar. And by everybody, I mean Heather. But the half-truths that she's saying aren't even that big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole like, oh, you didn't leave the Mormon church. Your name isn't on the database. And Heather was just like, I don't care about a database. It doesn't mean anything. I don't pay anything. It doesn't mean anything. I'm doing this my own way. And forcing what your journey looks like on my journey isn't okay. So Whitney to me is just, ugh, I can't stand her. I think she's a liar. I think she's a creep. I think she's a hypocrite. I think she's a fake and phony friend. I mean, I never thought I'd say it, but I like Heather Gay more now. I do. I do. I would have loved to seen Heather and Whitney without the prodding and the probing and the producing that Gizelle and low-key Portia are so clearly doing. And this is what this person said, dang, the show just started and Gizelle cannot help herself. I mean, even Portia was looking at her like, gee, like, gosh darn. She was the only one who was saying that she was wishing for drama on the trip. I cannot wait to see how these episodes unfold. The show is going to be super spicy. I have a question. I don't really watch the other franchises, but I think I might start because it's getting interesting to see how these other girls interact with each other and the flashbacks from their shows. Now, this is the thing. I think this is interesting because it is so clear on Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip that the other women from the other franchises see through Gizelle like nobody's business. Alexius and Marisol are not here for it. They're like, why don't you mind your business, sweetheart, boo-boo? The only person who is drinking the Gizelle Kool-Aid, in my opinion, is Whitney, because Whitney, as always, is being very pick-me. Leah cannot stand Gizelle. I mean, I don't really like Leah, but on this particular point, I'm on Leah's side. Leah sees through Gizelle. Obviously, Candace does. I think Portia is just there to get back on Bravo. That's why in the confessional, she's like, oh, Bravo must really want me back. And the producer who I love was like, Portia, for the last time, this is Peacock. It's like, Portia, get a grip. You're not on Bravo. Bravo hasn't asked you back. This is your audition tape to get back on Bravo, but you're actually on Peacock, which I actually really I stan Peacock. Like, I like the producers. I like the content they create. I think that the quality of their shows are really good. I think that behind the scenes, they are acting swiftly and with respect and mindfully. I'm referring to what happened with Brandy and Caroline Manzo. I'm here for Peacock. I'm down with it. Also, Andy Cohen said that Peacock is going to be airing extra and extended content and episodes for Vanderpump Rules. So, like, extra and extended content for the Scandival, extra and extended content for the reunion and all of that and the sit downs. So Peacock's on it. Like, Portia, get with it. It's 2023. The streaming platform is where it's at. Anyway, but obviously that means that Bravo wasn't messing with you, Portia. Oh, Bravo must really want me back. Really means that they're not really checking for you. Because if you're on Peacock, the streaming platform, on Ultimate Girls Trip, and you accepted that gig, clearly you were not offered a bigger gig by Bravo. Call a thing, you know? Because if you had offered a bigger gig by Bravo, then you would actually be on Bravo rather than being delusional in a confessional on Peacock. See what I'm saying? But I like Portia in general, but the whole Simon, let's not even talk about that because that makes my stomach hurt because I don't like her in that context. I think that was just whack. But I would have preferred to see Portia and Candace together. I actually think they would have been a much more interesting, dynamic, and engaging duo and more authenticity. Okay? The person goes on to say, Giselle is super messy, though. I will give her credit that she puts things right on the table, but dang, mind your business. How is she going to start the drama with Heather and the other chick, Whitney, and then say we need to table it because I'm tired of it now. I wanted to smack her through the TV screen. Yeah, that's the thing. And this is the thing. Whitney's taking the bait. But even Portia looked at Whitney and was like, girl, like, the stories you're telling doesn't really matter. They're not that deep. They're not that serious, you know? So it's just a mess. It's just a mess. But I want to know what you guys think. And stick around, Candy Canes, because I'm taking Candy Cane questions and comments. But I want to know what you guys think. You know, what do you think about what we started the show with? Okay, what do you think about that? Gizelle saying the gay slur, the F word, fully on her podcast. I personally think it's disgusting and inappropriate. I'm confused as to why nobody on her team edited it out. It like I said before, it's echoing when Erica said it at the reunion. I don't think it's okay. I don't think that there will be any consequences for them. But I'm also struggling with what the actual consequence should be, given that they said it in reference to somebody else saying it, not the intent against someone else. Does that matter? Should it matter? I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Also, what do you guys think about Gizelle telling Alexia and Marisol not to speak Spanish? Again, I thought it was being a bigot. I thought it was very disrespectful. And I don't think it had anything to do with her daughter speaking Spanish around her. I think that was a convenient lie. I think the reason why she did not want them speaking Spanish in front of her was because she had her producer hat on. And so she felt that if you're speaking Spanish in front of me and I cannot understand you, then I cannot manipulate the situation. I cannot, throw things in there. I don't think it had anything to do with your daughters. Stop using your daughters for excuses. I think it's you got on the show thinking that you were going to produce the show. And that's why you didn't want them speaking Spanish. And I thought it was hilarious when Candace came on. She goes, I love your Spanglish. It's so cute. We'll see the subtitles, right? Candace is winning. Candace is winning. Candy girl. Candace is winning. I think she's thriving on the show. I think she's great. Love Candace. Love her. Now, with the evolution. And then what do you guys think about my opinion and the opinion on, Reddit and everything else, that Gizelle is crashing and burning? Again, my personal theory is I do think that Gizelle and Portia got together either before the trip or on the trip, had a side conversation and decided we need to keep I think Gizelle says, I need to keep my Bravo check. Portia says, I need to get back on Bravo. Let's us produce this show. Because to me, the way they interact, the way they interject, the way they create drama where drama isn't there, it's ruining the flow. It's ruining the chemistry. Like, I think that these group of women could have authentic drama, have authentic fun without Gizelle and Portia meddling. And it's ruining the authenticity. It's ruining the flow. Put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. But before you do that, and stick around my candy canes, because I've done to take your candy cane questions and comments. But before you do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and share. And check out the description box down below where we have our free self-love and self-care newsletter. So with that, I'm going to take some of your candy cane questions and comments. Juanita says, Candy, mods, and chat. Hi. Hey, sweetheart. Foxy says, hello